Hello, everybody. Welcome to football tonight. We have a new show, ladies and gentlemen. We have Laurent Courtines, of course, with me. We had a rough week between Laurent and I. He we've been fighting on the chat, man. We're supposed to be together, and you've been fighting me. There's no why do you have to? I try to stay away from the drama lately because I feel like Dima and Manny have it against me, and it's okay.
Those Liverpool bastards.
Those Liverpool, but today was a kumbaya moment. I mean, it was incredible. They were just so happy. They were holding hands. I was like, "What the hell? What happened to this chat?" Yes, it's
Yeah.
usually a murder scene, slaughterhouse. Every time we, we're talking about anything and everything, but when it comes to Liverpool, everybody's
Oh,
holding
everything
hands.
is kumbaya, man. Yeah,
Oh
they,
my
they're all
god!
about Liverpool.
I was like, Laurent must be at work because this is way too peaceful for my liking.
I know, I know.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen, here on TopFCRadio.com. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notification, give us a thumbs up. That helps us a lot. We have a few things to talk about today. We have the the Europa League review. We got to review some of the matches. Some are teams that might not interest a lot of people, but they're good to be honorable mentions.
It's awesome.
But we have to talk about the Champions League, the most important tournament right now in club wise, more than the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup, nobody cares about the World Cup. I mean, the club version. I mean, but
They're making things up. Yeah.
now, yeah, they want to have it just like a regular tournament, a whole month. I think I've heard. It's just listen. They don't. Only South American teams care about it as much as that's about it because beating Barcelona, beating Manchester City, beating Real Madrid for South American teams is
Yeah.
everything. But
Let's do it this way. How about I just run through the scores,
that is your job always. So that was going to
and
ask you to
then
do that.
and then we'll stop in and pop in on the most important game, which we know what it is. We know where our bread is buttered, and we'll pop in on our friends there.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
put 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We're gonna start. Milan nil, Newcastle nil at the San Siro. Newcastle, new boys, happy to be there. Almost got their teeth kicked in if it weren't for Nick Pope's heroics. But Newcastle did grow into the game in the second half. They only gave up a measly 3 shots on target. They're going to grow into this group. They had a hard time. Hang on, 0-0. Good draw for Newcastle, especially as new boys. Our boys from Red Bull Leipzig smashed the new boys from away in Switzerland on the board. Leipzig, one of the stronger teams in Germany, one of the stronger teams in this league. They'll probably go through with Manchester City. PSG defeat Dortmund 2-0. PSG looking like an actual team without having 3 superstars. They know who their bread is buttered by, and it is Kylian Mbappe. They have structure. Dortmund are terrible. Will be hard done by a handball. Porto 3, my boys from Shakhtar Donetsk, the homeless team living in Poland. The former Ukrainian team lose at home, away from home, 3-1 to Porto. Porto, best team in Portugal, usually have a good time. City 3, Cervena Zervada, formerly known as Red Star Belgrade, lose 3-1 to City. It looked scary for a minute there. Red Star went up 1-0, but then City just turned the screws on. They had 39 shots in this game. Red Star got their teeth kicked in. Lazio won. Atletico Madrid won. Lazio get a last-minute goal from their keeper on a header. Oh, what an amazing moment. Probably one of the moments of the round. Barcelona look amazing. João Felix looks amazing, and they defeat Antwerp, Royal Antwerp 5-0. It looks good for the Barca revival. I know that, Chris, you covered that game extensively. Feyenoord 2, Celtic 0. Brendan Rodgers is a terrible manager. He doesn't know what to do in Europe. Then the great and powerful Jude Bellingham, Jude the dude, shows up again, scores the late winner for Real Madrid. Doesn't matter who the players are. Real Madrid always find a way. Copenhagen 2, Galatasaray 2. This game opens the door for our friends at Man United to survive, who lose 4-3 to Bayern Munich. Chris thinks this was a good game. It was a good game if you're a neutral. United were never catching Bayern. Bayern let them score 3 goals. Benfica 0, Salzburg 2. That's an upset. Benfica with a red card, losing 2-0 at home to Red Bull Salzburg. Of the Red Bull group, RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, RB New York. all Red Bull teams. Braga 2, Braga 1, Napoli 2, Arsenal 4, PSV 0. A really nice looking performance for the great and powerful Arsenal. My friend Leandro Trossard putting in a really nice one there, and Odegaard, who I'm in love with. Sevilla 1, Lens 1. Those two teams making up the numbers. And my friends from Real Sociedad, my favorite Spanish team, 1-1 versus Inter. A really, really fun little game. Lautaro Martinez saves the draw for Inter. But we must go to the Allianz Arena and Bayern Munich 4, Manchester United 3. Tell me why, Chris, you think that this was a good United performance?
Well, I think they played their best match all year. I'm not. That doesn't mean more than just that. They played good. Well, let me go back. Let me go back because I feel
They
like.
played good for 20 minutes.
Well, let me just. Now, listen. You got to say you have to admit they show resilience. I mean, compared to the 5 matches they played in the Premier League, 5-4. What is it? 5-5, right?
Yeah.
Uh, it's been a disaster every time. Different types of ways. They have played Manchester United. They have played horribly in different, which is incredible. They played horribly in different types of ways. You know,
Yeah, it's
I
like
think
they
that's
know how to win different ways. They know how to play
yeah,
bad in different ways.
different ways. So
Yeah.
I think that you can't underestimate the fact that they went against Bayern Munich, a tough
Mhm.
team, and somehow they were able to get close. Now you can say that Casemiro was laying down, and I'm the number one person that I won't I won't judge midfielder because they score a goal, because that's not their job to do, right? Especially if they score the way he did. So that's not what I meant. But what I'm trying to say here is that Onana gave away goals too. They don't
He
count.
did. He did.
They the opposite team shouldn't count on that, or at least United will go to their matches thinking, hey, our goalkeeper is not going to give away goals. So that's one thing there. That's one way to look at it. But I think they just played their best match this year. That doesn't say much because obviously there's a lot of improvement to do. There could be some positive things. um, Ten Hag mentioned, and we'll probably have his what he had to say. He said when you score 3 goals in Bayern at Bayern, you should come out at least with a point. I get that. That's more than likely
Yeah,
what
I
needs to
think
happen. But
if you had said in a vacuum, "Oh, you're going to score 3 goals away from home," you would have thought you were going to win. But the problems for United are defensive
defensively,
and mentality wise. One, they give up way too many shots. So I think one of the things that I think about with football is try not to be results driven but performance driven. The results ultimately will be how you're judged, but when you're a big team and you have all these players, you have to think about how you played, right? So
right?
United give up way too many shots, way too many on target. What does that mean? It means that either they're not getting in front of players to prevent shots, or they're too deep and guys are exposed. One thing you saw was Musiala just running through the midfield without anyone in front of him. The thing that I think people don't realize is when you hear terms like he's lost his legs, he's too old, he's lost a foot or something. In football, it's such fine margins. The difference between you stopping a break because you're a foot closer and a guy running past you is a half a yard. A half a yard is a step. If you lose a step in the midfield that you didn't have and you're 32 years old, that player goes past you where you used to stop him. And so I think that's really the issue with Casemiro. United, I don't know if everyone knows this, last season played, I think, the maximum amount of games you could play in Europe. They almost played 65, 70 games. And when Casemiro came, aside from red cards, he played in every game. So they ran him into the ground. They went on a preseason tour where they were all around the world. So they're already leggy in the beginning of the season because they don't have depth or they don't have trust in players. Plus, they have injuries. So United they're at half strength going against teams that have strong winning mentalities. Like the one thing that I think is clear about United is especially under Ten Hag, they're fragile. They give up a goal, their heads go down, they give up another one. Now, they're able to get out of these things and pull themselves back up, like in the Nottingham Forest game where they gave up the 2 goals early, they pulled themselves out of it. But in this game, Onana makes the mistake. One, I didn't like how nobody went up to him to look after him. Like there was no team unity in that moment. Then
There
they
was
give
a
up.
player. I can't. He's in the picture, but
It's
regardless,
Regulon who's been there for 3 weeks.
yeah.
Or Dallo, whatever. But
But
it's not like the leadership. It's not Fernandez. It's not everyone get together. We're Man United. We're gonna go. They have no strong strength as a unit. And then the game kind of drifts, and Bayern Munich hit the post like 3 times. They could have been gone. And their midfield weakness, and they're kind of like faux laziness, I guess. They're like, we'll be fine. They let United back in this game, and it's the least close 4-3 you'll ever see. Now, you can give credit to United. I thought that Bayern just were like, at any time that they wanted to, they could have scored another goal. I was never feeling like Bayern were going to lose this game, ever. Now, I don't like the handball on Eriksson. That was bullshit. Excuse me. I just hate all VAR. I hate how we referee games. I hate all of it. Just go back to the old way, whatever that was. But United are still in crisis, I'd say. If
yeah,
they lose to Burnley, I mean,
no,
I
no,
don't know
that
what'll
can't.
happen. The whole the
That
thing,
can't. Well,
United will collapse into itself.
let's keep it simple. I mean, if they lose against Burnley, then Ten Hag needs to go. That is the bottom line. There's no way. If there's no question,
But what does that
there's no
do?
nothing. What that does is you have to refresh something needs to happen because you
It
can.
can't. I don't think it can be Ten Hag again. I don't. I really don't. I think he's the only thing holding the thing together.
No, you're a Ten Hag aficionado, man. You can't.
Okay.
He,
Okay.
he
Sorry. Let's take a step back. Have I said that this is the worst run club in all of football?
yeah, but at
Yes.
the end of the
Hold
day,
on. Hold on. Hold on.
you no.
Ten Hag comes from a well-run club. He came from Bayern's youth team and Ajax, a team that he took and understands what it takes to get a good team to play and get to a semifinal and do what it does, right?
Hmm.
Who at United has anything that's going to put this team together? Like, you can only get rid of Ten Hag if you have a replacement. You do not make a knee-jerk reaction to losing an individual game. If you had a plan in place for the whole season, you stick with it. Because if you fire
But
him, then all of a sudden you have all these Ajax players who don't go with whoever the next manager is. And you end up with the same problem that United has been in for year after year after year. So no, you don't fire him.
but the thing is that nothing changes. There's nothing positive. There's nothing progressing. There's nothing at the. I just don't. Let me tell you this. This is the Premier League. This is top. This is Europe. This is normal football where there is promotion and relegation.
They're not going down. Come
No,
on.
no. Hey, listen to me, man. Listen, I understand that's a far fetched situation. I'm not trying to insinuate that.
Yeah.
However, points that you lose game after game, you waste time with the same manager. I don't know how. Say they don't. We're not even going to talk about relegation. We're not going to talk about that. But United can't afford not to make it into Europa League. I mean, that's what we're talking about right now. That we're not even talking about them making the next the group stage here on this Champions League. We're not talking about them making it to the Champions League next year. We're not even. We're not even. They might not even make it to. They might not even pass mid-table.
They are not better than. Well, they're not better than Brighton. They're not better than Spurs.
No,
They're not better than Arsenal. They're not better than Liverpool. They're not better than City.
they're not even better than Newcastle.
They're not better than Newcastle. They're not
Which
better than Brentford. Brentford have a better way to play
you
with a
threw
better
that in there.
manager and better structure than Manchester United. They do.
You threw that. I'm gonna let you slide on that
These
one.
are my two teams. I love Brentford and I love Brighton. They both play diametrically opposed styles, but are vertically integrated. I'm all about how your team's put
But
together.
but ultimately, I just to be honest, again, I mean, we can, we are just another YouTube channel, another radio that just talks and talks and talks. But that, like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even put myself in their situation to try to fix this because it is a big deal. And,
The thing is, like, you have someone has to be accountable. And I think your point was really good about Ten Hag not taking his own accountability. I really liked Onana being like, I lost this game for my team. That's great, right? I'm sure Harry Maguire would have loved to have ran on the field and pointed in his face,
right.
which would have been amazing. And I know you had a lot of beef with him, but there's two sides to it, right? He yelled at his teammates. He also came and said,
But
that's on me, which is great. That's exactly you
that's
can
all
ask for. But
beautiful.
now he needs to make saves. Like, stop fucking around.
That's all.
Excuse
That's
me.
all beautiful, man. But
Yeah.
this whole time Onana has came to. He's been at United. He hasn't saved one single shot that I can remember. And so what I'm trying to say is, when you come to a club
Yeah, it's
that's
hard.
a a tough club like United, it's not an easy club when they're doing great to perform. Imagine when they're doing not good,
Mm-hmm.
and you put all this attention on yourself. You start yelling. You start doing too much, man. You're doing too much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I said it in the beginning. I can honestly pat myself in the back and say I said this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do all of that. You just take your time, build yourself, into becoming maybe a second captain or leader or whatever you want to call it. But you don't have to do that. You're doing too much, because when this happens, and I said it before, I said there's going to be a moment where he messes up, and then all eyes are going to be on him. And that apology could be genuine, and also could not be genuine. We don't know. We can assume that it is, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, the trillion
Yeah.
fans out there don't give a
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, I
And
think, and the other piece in like the game, you can go watch the highlights. There's no need for us to go through the individual games or the individual moments. Just Onana made an error on a Sane goal. Sane did his Sane things where he doesn't track back, and in moments he looks like the best Bayern Munich player, and then he disappears. Harry Kane scored a penalty, which was nice. He's very good at that. I thought the handball was ridiculous. Musala it's just a great player. He's just there. The Coman thing is great, but their midfield's poor. And so the weakness of Bayern, the controlling of games, which I think they have a problem with, same problem United has, sort of allowed United back into the game to give us a decent scoreline. What is it? Casemiro scored two, and then a late 95th minute one on a cross from Bruno that went in. So there's their three goals, and Hoyland got one, which was nice. Hoyland, I forget him. Fake.
Hoyland. He actually that's a good positive thing. He's
He's
a
good.
striker.
I like him. I think he's
No,
good.
wait, time out. You what?
I like him. He's got a good. He's so
You said do you want me to find the clip where you said that he sucks? You
yeah,
said he
I
sucks.
hadn't seen. So I will backtrack. I watched his 10 goals with Atalanta, I believe, or the other one, and all
Yeah,
I
that's right.
saw was him at the edge of the box taking touches that were a little bit heavy and shooting balls over the bar. I didn't like the teams that he scored goals against, and I didn't like what I saw. Now, I didn't see him in his full athleticism running and his body and the way that he looked. He's a really good athlete. I did see in the middle of the park a few really big touches, but I thought for his goal, the touch was really good. The shot was a little bit deflected, but he did get it off. So that was a positive, good touch inside the box with that I was concerned about, and then a good finish to get the shot off low, got it on target, scored a goal. So very similar to the one that was disallowed against Brighton. So what I saw was good. I didn't like what I saw before, but I'm willing to be wrong. He looks athletic. He looks like he can run.
Yeah,
He looks like he can do stuff. Yeah.
he's got a good ties to him.
hmm
Anyways, what else do we got, man?
We
Uh,
should cut. We should definitely cover. We should definitely cover our friend Mister Bellingham. Just,
ah, yeah.
just first of all, Joselu is not a Real Madrid striker.
Well, he's an old school striker. He's just there for Vinicius, obviously.
I
But
no, but he's there to fill the space, right? He's Choupo-Moting last season, right? Just we need a striker because no one wants to do this. The role is actually not. You can't just put anyone there. You have to do
Yeah.
something. The problem is that those guys that are on these good teams, you really can see their finishing is just not up
Yeah.
to flash. Like he got to where he was supposed to be. The ball was there, and he just like how many chances did he have? 5.
Yeah, no, he did struggle, but Real Madrid struggled in the beginning. Now, the
Yeah,
first half,
I
and again,
liked I liked
it's
Union Berlin. That was cool, man.
yeah,
Good for
and
them.
kind of what happened to City in the first half of when the beginning of the match. They were just kind of startled by your beloved Red Star.
I told you they're good.
They scored once, but we're gonna talk about City next. But Real Madrid, man, they just
The Bellingham thing, though, that I
they
know,
somehow find a way to win these games. It's
the thing
unbelievable.
that was interesting though was the moment that that ball popped out, and it was and Union Berlin's defense was coming out to try and bring the line back up to try and get out. Bellingham was the only player going the other way. He already was running towards the box, so that when everything spilled and he was there, he had anticipated that. Like I don't know how it was this deep playing, carry the ball midfielder who could keep a play moving. Yet he has striker's instincts. It's just unbelievable. Like it's just crazy. It's like a schoolboy. It's like, oh, where do you want to play? Go do what you want. Carlo's like, go do whatever you want to do. Play where you want to play. Help the team win. And I think that's probably the magic of Ancelotti. He's able to identify crack players and be
Right.
like, go ahead, go do your thing, because I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to tell the guys that are bums, you're a bum and you run for this guy or you won't play. And I'm going to say to Bellingham and Modric, go do the things you need to do so that we can win
Yeah.
games. He just sort of gets it. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, you're a bench player. I don't care if you're not playing. Do you realize that Jude Bellingham is here? Shut up.
I mean, and it's incredible. I think he is the right player for Real Madrid. Like he is that. He's just made for that club. And I don't know if you saw, but I think we put it on social media. Klopp's reaction to Bellingham's goal. He was just sitting there waiting for the reporters to ask him or something. They were getting ready for the stuff, and he was just sitting there. And he somehow, I guess they have a monitor somewhere, and he saw the goal, and he just kind of surprised. He just shook his head. He was like, Bellingham. Oh wow! And just
Yeah.
kept,
You know
yeah,
what?
because
You know what?
they were going to get him.
If they had made it to this is why the champion is it's like a sliding doors moment. They missed the Champions League and he doesn't come. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like I think it's 50-50 if he makes it to the Champions League.
yeah,
Now, if you can go to Real, you go. I get it, but
yeah.
it
No, I
was that
mean,
close.
it
It's so
was
close. It was amazing.
it's so close, but
So
yeah,
we've got that there. I just want to make sure I don't miss on anything. Arsenal being back, it was so loud at the Emirates. They really put on a show. Gabriel Jesus with a nice goal. Saka, my friend, Mr. Trossard, and then Odegaard, who we all couldn't stop talking about how just he's such a freaking good player. He's just the dude, right? He's just the guy for that team, right? He's like their crap version of Bellingham. And it's funny that Real had Odegaard, but at 15 years old, right? He couldn't stick around. He couldn't wait around. He couldn't
yeah, he was too young.
he couldn't, wait for his moment. And so, my other team, Sociedad, he was there. He played a little bit with David Silva, I think, or Silva replaced him. That's a really good club with a lot of good history. He learned how to play. He did it the hard way, right? Like ultimately, he was a kid who could have failed, but he went through those problems, got himself to Arsenal after playing well, and proved himself because he was at Sociedad and came to Arsenal. It was a low fee, like $40 million.
Dude, I'm telling you that's why when I say um, sometimes just clubs don't fit the players and players don't fit the clubs. There's no
Mm,
big deal. There's no judgment in that. Same thing happened to don't remember who we were talking about the other day, but it happens here with Odegaard. Just didn't work out, and now he goes to Arsenal, another big club, and he's able to perform. I think we were talking. Who did we talk about? Joao Felix didn't work out at
right.
Chelsea. I mean, but now he's working in Barcelona. So it is what it is. I mean, but Odegaard is probably the best player for and he scores, man, the way he is
He's so
he's
good.
such a fine player, like
Yeah.
just a finesse player. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, but
you
he leads their press. He gets stuck in. He's not without the fight, right? Like he wouldn't survive in
yeah,
the Premier League without some strength, but he's just sort of grown and grown and grown, like from 1 goal to 7 goals his second season, 15 last season. If he can replicate 15 and 7, that would be a huge season for him. 15 and 7 is a massive number of goals from a number 8. That's just like MVP player of the season level numbers. It's just plays in a league, plays in a league with Kevin De Bruyne and all those boys in the midfield for City. So it makes it really tough to stand out. But I love Odegaard. Saka getting off the board with a tap in. Arsenal playing really well. Havertz played. I don't think he did anything, but he was in the game.
And
Really
you
good.
get you. I wanted to mention before I forget Manchester City.
Yeah,
And when they started losing and everything, of course we were giving you crap. But I think that City is probably one of the only teams that can decide to win games in,
yes,
in certain matches. Of course, they can't
yeah,
do it all the time. But when with these with these opponents, they can say, okay, let's stop playing around. We're going to win this game, and they just took it home. And
yeah.
I thought it was going to be an upset for a second, but big old Red Star couldn't keep up. I mean, just
Well, I mean,
too good of a players.
I think the thing. This is what I was talking about. Like, if you just watch highlights and you just kind of peruse things, Manchester City have 2 games where they won 3-1, but the level of dominance I think is at another level. I think between those 2 games, they have over 50 shots and 20 on target. That is, they're annihilating teams. Like, if they start getting goal luck, like if and Holland starts finishing, Holland has 7 goals and has been bad in a weird way. Like, he's missed so many chances. They would be kicking ass. And then your guy that you brought up, potential Ballon d'Or winner, Mr. Alvarez, just another
Okay.
great game. All of
Yeah, I
it,
told
all
you,
of it
man.
is fantastic. They're just killing it right now. I really did think that City would have a hard time, but they've just gone from strength to strength. They're ready to go. They're playing a different way. They have different players now. Like, they're all dribbles. Like, Doku is just going past dudes. They have another injury, which is a little worrying. I thought that if they lost Bernardo Silva, they'd be in trouble, but now I'm less concerned. They'll just play another way to hide the weakness of losing Silva. He's just that good. I mean, expected goals 4.5 against Red Star. Expected goals of anything over 3 is a massive number. Like, Real Madrid had a 3.5 expected goals. Like, they really battered Union Berlin, but that's what they'd expect, right? They'd
Yeah.
expect that was going to happen, but really just such strong performances. And as I go through this, I want to sort of touch on, we got Arsenal, Bayern Munich, um, talked about our boys in Newcastle versus Milan, Inter defending finalists, the 1-1 draw. Yeah, I think that's really where we are with the Champions League. We go
No,
again next week, and
yeah.
we kick on.
What do you think, Liverpool today?
Oh, right. Oh, the Europa League. The fact that we have to talk about the Europa League is only because
Liverpool's there.
Liverpool is in it.
What's the other team that
otherwise,
could be that
otherwise, no one would be talking about
is
the
there
group stage
another?
of the Europa League. Now, I want to talk about it because my favorite team and my future manager, Roberto De Zerbi, and his merry men from
Well,
Brighton did
okay,
not
so
win
so
today.
so let's get into that before we get into Liverpool. Uh, man,
uh,
you're Brighton.
yeah, they did not play well.
What the hell, man? Where was all the hype? Where was everything? You hear English Brighton fans, you're like, "Hey man, we're back. We're back. We're back." I was like, "We're
We're
back.
back.
We're back." Wait a
No,
minute. Let me look this up.
yeah. Here's what it is. It's like, there's no doubt that you have to grow into these things. It's a normal progression. This is Athens AEK. They have some history, longer term, bigger club. I just have to look up what Athens history is, just because I don't know off the top of my head. But a lot of
I,
times these
I,
teams are the top teams in their leagues, right?
yeah,
And they've
but
been
but
good for a long time.
but
And
I
so,
think I think Brighton could have done better than what they. I mean, I think they could have. Now let me now. Stats wise, not such a bad deal. I mean, they scored. They were
yeah,
able to perform, but I mean, sometimes, man, you just gotta slow down, man.
yeah,
Including
yeah.
it
It's
starting with
hard.
you. Starting
It's
with
hard.
you,
No, listen, I know that I've said this about City when we were trying to win the Champions League. You have to suffer.
but you
You have
can't
to go
compare
through
that.
it.
You can't
No,
compare
no,
the
no,
two.
no. But what I'm saying is that teams have to go through a process where you keep growing. You have your first step. You make it to the Europa League. You're like, wow, we're playing on Thursdays and Sundays. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, I'm tired. Or wow, we're like four guys short. Like I keep saying I want to play every game, but really when I go home to my family, I'm like, I don't want to play today. I am whooped. I can't mentally get up for another game. I'm not used to it. So you have to get used to that. And that's Brighton going through this. Listen, AK Athens, 2 championships in Greece over the last 10 years. So they're not nothing. They are a real team. They are defending champions of the Greek league.
They're
So
not
that's
nothing.
that's important. You know, they've won something. We talk about trophies, so they won a trophy. So for them, it is tough. But De Zerbi is his first time in Europe, or he made it with Sassuolo, maybe I don't remember. So he's they have to struggle. They have to learn and figure out what it takes. It's still one game in the group, and I hope they get through it because losing at home is a bad result. They
Well,
got
that's
by on
kind of
two penalties. That's not really creating anything. Normally, they create a lot more.
well, that's kind of the thing though. Like Brighton and Newcastle, they need to win. Now we have we have a comment on the chat. I think.
Yes,
Um,
we do.
let me put it up on there. Let me show it to the public. The comment comes from. You can have your say, by the way. Just comment and we'll interact with you live here on Top FC Radio. Lewis York says, "I'm a Newcastle fan. I still can't believe can't believe it. We are in the Champions League. It doesn't seem real still, but hopefully we can do about the group. Now let's start talking about that because I was going to transition into that because Brighton and Newcastle, those teams, they have to win at home. They have
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
Newcastle has an advantage. I know some people don't believe in this. Some people say it's stupid. Some people say, and I to a certain extent believe that you can't just believe in people and fans. However, Newcastle has a weapon, and it's their fans. You know, I would like to see how Mbappe does in a stadium like that. You know, in France, most of the stadium, like just the PSG stadium, is everything is so far away. You know, even though those fans are wild, but um, they have to make themselves get respected, or else, what do you think about that game with AC Milan? I
I
know you said
think
you think
they
they sucked.
No, I think that they were afraid. It's a big moment. Like Dan Byrne is a guy from Newcastle. He was playing at Wigan. He's a £1.5 million transfer, built himself up. He never thought he was playing in the Champions League his whole life. Um, Jacob Murphy is there like smiling when the Champions League anthem comes on. These are normal young men who have been watching this their whole lives, and maybe haven't had even a second to go, I can't believe I was on this Newcastle team with Mike Ashley and the owner. We were going nowhere. I got luck. I know I'm not, I know in the long term, I'm not going to be on this team. And today I'm starting in the Champions League in the San Siro against AC Milan. I talk like that and I get goosebumps on my arms. I
Yeah,
can't imagine what it feels like to be a player. Everything goes out the window. Every touch is hard. Every pass is off. They survived. They should be grateful to get a point at the San
but
Siro in the
see,
Champions League.
I have
That
a
is a semi-final making AC Milan team that they went against,
exactly,
and
but
they got lucky because Rafael Leao is a moron.
well, yeah, no, he is definitely a moron. I think he should be suspended by the club. To be honest with you, I do believe so. I think something needs to happen, or FIFA should get involved. I think I'm not watching. No, FIFA should be like, this is not the image we're about to we're gonna have of this game. So you need to suspend him 2 weeks at least. But see, I have a different way to look at it because I've been watching every single Newcastle match since I've been a fan. Now everybody knows
Bit of
I be, I, be, I became a fan of Newcastle this season. I
Oh.
proclaimed I'm the American Geordie. I'm the Hispanic American Geordie. A lot of
Vamos,
a lot of
Newcastle's.
a lot of dashes right there, but regardless, a Geordie nonetheless. So I've been watching every game, and I had not seen the level of personality until this match because what I saw was Newcastle saying, "We suck today, but we're not going to give up because you can suck. The other team can in the beginning, the first 20, 30 minutes,
They had 19
but
shots in the
but
first
we're
half.
not but we're not just going to let them run over us." And I think that Newcastle was tough. Newcastle was just going to. I mean, for a moment, it seemed like they were just running. They didn't know where the ball was, but at the end of the day, they said, "Listen, I'm just going to tackle at the air. It doesn't matter what. I don't even know where the ball is at, but I'm just going to fall to the ground." But and when your team is getting beaten, when your team is not good enough in the moment, that's all you can ask for is to not give up and to continue. Now, later on, AC Milan went downhill as well. They didn't do as great as in the beginning of the the first 20 matches or whatever. And Newcastle had the opportunity. I don't think, and that's when I will give you the reason in this. In the second half, whenever I felt like AC Milan was really depleted, I didn't see that change from the bench or from the players, but at the end of the day, the one that steers is the bench. Eddie Howe. I didn't see, hey, let's put somebody into because he took Gordon out, put Almiron. I guess you can say, yeah, he's fresh. He's a fresh player, so he'll do more.
He didn't play in the week. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, so Lewis York has been posting lots of stuff. I agree.
Go ahead.
The
Read his comments.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You could tell the players were scared in the Champions League, first time in 20 years. He's gonna go see Newcastle versus PSG at St. James's Park. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
that is a moment that you're gonna live with forever. Kylian Mbappe is coming
Wow.
to St. James's Park. That is a
What time
huge.
is it over there? He said it right
It's
there.
2
It's
a.m.
2:05 in Newcastle. And look, hey, shout out to Louis York, man.
And with his picture of Jacob Murphy, who is not part of the future of Newcastle, but will be a Newcastle legend when he leaves, because he's going to be a trivia question of like, who was the starting left back on the day? Who was the starting left winger on the day that the Saudis took over Newcastle? And he'll be like, Jacob Murphy.
Louis York, I appreciate you being up in 2:05 in the morning, 2:08 in the morning now in Newcastle. My time. Hey, by the way, I love Newcastle because I've always been a big fan, diehard fan of Brian Johnson and ACDC, and he is a Geordie. I could not believe it. He is a Geordie, and he grew up in Newcastle, and he sang
Oh.
with the Stripes. I'm in love now with Newcastle as we speak about it. So thank you, Lewis, and let all your Newcastle fans about this channel and
We
how
we
what we
do
do
we
here.
do have we just had the Champions League, but I mean, I don't want to like short shrift. The games come thick and fast. We have games coming
Yeah,
up, and
yeah, you're right.
we don't have to go through all the games, but there is one game we have
What
to
do we
go
got?
through.
What do we got coming up?
We've got the North London Derby
Oh
on
no, that's a big
Sunday
one.
of Arsenal at home versus Tottenham. I don't think I've been as excited for this game in a really, really long time. Uh, I could see. I think like it's a free hit for Spurs. They're new. They've got everything going for them, but it could be like a 4-3. It could be a crazy game. I mean, Arsenal are really good. Clearly, they're ahead of where Ange's Spurs are, but Spurs are going to feel like, you know what? Let's go do this.
But don't you
But
think? But honestly, don't you think that this is probably the most equal they have been in the past?
no, I
You
disagree.
don't you
I
don't think so?
disagree. No, 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 no,
You
no.
think Tottenham has been up to
I
par with Arsenal in the past few years?
no, they haven't been. What I'm saying is, but right now, I think Arsenal are ahead.
You
It
think
tends to
Arsenal is
it,
better than
it te-
Tottenham?
right now, yes, for sure, for
Oh my
sure.
God, Lewis, take over, man. I'm about to. Nah.
Listen, that back
No, what?
four.
Wait, time out, man. Because listen, this whole you kill me. You're on the Spurs bandwagon. Now you're jumping on the Arsenal bandwagon.
No, no. I just think at home, Arsenal are not losing to Spurs. They never lose to Spurs at home, ever, never.
Hey,
Nope.
they never.
That
They
derby is split between home and away.
yeah,
Neither
but
team ever loses at home, ever.
but that's the first time Big Ange is coming home. Not coming home, but
Well, I
coming home
think
to
the question is like,
Arsenal. Doing. I mean,
if
Tottenham is doing well, man.
if Spurs is going to play the way that they play with the really high line and Van de Ven being up high and having to cover all that space with the only two defenders, you leave that much space to Arsenal, Saka and Odegaard will be in that space and at your goal before you can say boo. So if they're going to press, it's going to be tough. But I think that Spurs can score goals. There's no doubt about that. But I just think that defensively, Arsenal are still better, especially with
Well,
Declan Rice is not going to let them break through the middle of the midfield. None of that shit's going to happen. All that space that James Madison has, Rice is going to be all over him. He's not going to be able to be shooting like that and doing all that stuff. There's
yeah.
no way.
Lewis called you a glory hunter, but no, he's only joking. No, he's a City fan actually.
I'm even more of a glory hunter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
already got glory. The hunting is over. There's no more
yeah,
glory. I just have to now my goals are, can I get into the pantheon of clubs? Like, how do I get there? How do
eh,
you get to be Liverpool? How do you get to be AC Milan? How do you get to be Inter? How do you get
well,
to be
actually,
these teams? It's
let
really,
me
really hard. Really,
let,
really hard.
let's have that five
And you
minute
may never be
conversation.
able to do it.
Let's have that 5 minute conversation, um, because Simon Jordan said,
He
and
said you
along
can
with
never.
I
Yeah, with
forgot
Danny Murphy. I listened to
Danny
that.
Murphy. He said they will. Danny Murphy actually was more stern when it came to that. He said, "No, City will never
That's
be."
because he's a Liverpool fan.
But but I just disagree with that. I get the point. I get the point. But in that case, then nobody will ever be. No, nobody will ever grow. So I think what they mean, and I would agree that
Like time.
it just takes a long time. It takes
Hmm.
a long time. Now,
Hmm.
City is not a club that just started. They have over I think
A
100
lot of
years of
history.
history.
Yeah, a lot.
However, success wise, yeah, it'll take a long time. Maybe not.
There are certain windows of history that, and this is where I get deep. Are you ready? I'm gonna everybody listen now. I've got story time. There are certain moments in history that elevated certain clubs who were big in those moments. We have two big ones. Manchester United 1968, color TV, Champions League. Manchester United elevates themselves on television across Europe. They have George Best. That's a big deal. Now, the sustained growth that Liverpool has all through the 70s puts them on television in a limited amount of games. There's literally no games on. You have to remember this. The Champions League is like the only game that's televised. You could not watch games. So you have that. Manchester United at the dawn of the Premier League, when all of a sudden, every weekend, they were televised across England. And what did they do when that happened in 1992? They won every year for 20 years. So how many fans can you get when you're in these seminal moments of
Well,
television? And
well,
so
one
and so City are in this next era, right? Where it's social media, it's fractured. How can you
exactly.
capture everyone? And I
Well,
think they are, but not in England. They're getting big
well,
audiences around the
yeah,
world, but not in
listen,
England.
but I mean, this time is an advantage for a city because they can just become fans today by just watching their phone.
Right, but
But
it's not going to be in England, I think, is the key thing.
well,
And so what.
but I don't agree with what Danny Murphy was saying because um big what's John Santana saying we effing won
What did you
for?
win?
What did you win, man? I was defending you the whole time you were asleep. I was telling you, get up, City's United's coming back to win, and then you said something, and then Bayern scored again, and I told you, never mind, John, sit down, because. uh, but anyways,
Johnny,
uh,
you poor
no,
bastard.
but what I'm trying to say is, it takes time, of course, but it's not impossible.
No,
And you're
but
talking about in
it's gonna
England.
take 20 years
But
of winning.
you're talking about England, right? You're talking about England. I don't. Danny Murphy was saying something towards the similar because their fans are not English, and I mean their fans are all over the world. Liverpool fans are all over the world, and City has a lot to work. I don't want to paraphrase. I'm just paraphrasing. I don't want to. Obviously, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it's. I mean, people that go to the stadium, they're not all over the world fans. They're just people that live in Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
but
that's.
but it is a destination. There are
But
people that go every week. There's only 19 home games. They travel from around the world and they make going to Liverpool part of their life, right? Part of their
mm,
part of their group, part of their thing. City don't have that. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me, right? Like I think sometimes City fans get really defensive. You just have to be like, yeah, we don't have as many fans. That's true.
yeah.
But kids are front runners. And the more kids grow up with City winning all the time, they'll all become City fans. And then when they're
Yeah.
in their 30s, they'll go watch City, right? Just takes a long time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, people that go to city games, are they
They're
Chinese?
local.
Are
They're
they
local.
are they
Not yet.
Indonesian?
Not
I mean,
yet.
they're
There's not a
English,
lot. Yeah, they're from East Manchester right
and
now.
they're filled the damn stadium every time. Now they might not sing. They might not sing because that's one of the things that Danny Murphy was saying, that how many times Pep has had to do this.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah. Well,
and
the other thing is, and this can't be discounted, and I say it all the time. Liverpool is in their home ground. That is Anfield. They've been in that building since 1911. Old Trafford is the home of football. They've been in that building since
yeah.
1905. St. James's Park. These teams have been in this. When City played at Main Road, it was loud. But they got this stadium that takes things down. But they have to, you can make something out of it.
Well,
Arsenal did it. They put a chanting section, they have drums, they lead the chants for
but
their
but
team. So City can do it. They just haven't done it yet.
that has nothing to do with fans not loving City.
Oh no,
Fans
they
not,
love the
not
team. It's just not
they
loud.
different time, and you can adjust and like you said, fix things. But I don't agree that it will never happen. That's so dumb. I mean,
It's
City will
short-sighted.
never.
You don't know what'll happen. Like there
Well,
could
you
be
don't
a
know what happened,
could be a super league. You don't know what'll happen.
but if it continues the way it is, City will be considered one of the greatest clubs in history.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line.
It's the greatest. See, the thing that there's a nuanced discussion here, though. It's like this City side with Pep is already one of the great teams in history, and it'll be
Teams,
and it'll be remembered by hardcore soccer people, whatever.
yeah.
But City are not famous. They're not.
Yes, they are, man. Anywhere talks
No,
about.
but they're not. They're not. They don't have enough moments. They don't have enough. There's not
Okay,
enough yet. There
okay.
will be. I think you have to keep 13
Yeah,
years
well, yeah,
straight in the
you got to
Champions
keep
League. You
building.
got to keep going. You
You
got
got
to
to keep
keep
building.
having and even the losses, you got to keep losing. You got to be in it to lose, in it to win. You got to keep creating moments.
And one thing, it's amazing, like Lewis was saying right there, that Newcastle have been at St. James's Park since 1892. But it's that's one thing that only English clubs have, that they go back 18 to the 1800s.
Mhm.
And I love history, so I'm out here defending City. It wouldn't make sense for me to, but
There's clubs in England that have badges. I think it's United Sheffield. I think
well,
is the one team. It's 1866.
we talked about
It's like the Civil War ended in the U.S. and the team was
no,
started.
but listen, we talked about we talked about the English team with Scotland, the three lions. That was amazing to me.
Yeah. No.
But anyways, we'll keep. Let's move on to the next one. What
Yeah.
else we got today for the
Well,
rundown?
just in terms of matches coming up in this week in the Premier League,
Yeah.
all the big games, I think, a test for Liverpool against West Ham. West Ham at Anfield. I don't expect them to beat them. I think it's important and imperative to keep a look at Chelsea. Chelsea playing Aston Villa. Can they get off the schneid? I know it doesn't matter. I know it's underground, but Chelsea has actually not been as bad as it looks. Their numbers underneath are looking good.
What?
Just trust me on this one. And then all eyes on Saturday. That Burnley United game now becomes really, really important, like a must-watch game for anyone who wants to watch United blow a game again, because
Yeah.
there's nothing more
You
fun.
included.
Well, first of all, it's Vincent Kompany, who's the coach of Burnley, who's
Yeah.
my hero. He's just one of our great captains. He's gonna try and win. He's got it in him. He's lives in Manchester. His wife, his family are all Reds, and he's a Blue. And he's got to be like, you know what? He's gonna hear it. He's gonna go for it. And Burnley's only 15 miles north of Old Trafford, so there's so much football there. There's so much stuff. It's at Turf Moor, the highest ratio fan to city in all of England. It's a town of 70,000 people, and they put 20,000 in the stadium. You do the math. Basically, everyone's there who lives there.
Yep,
It's
yep, yep,
amazing.
yep, yep.
It's amazing.
So United Burnley will be a good one. Like you said, Liverpool West Ham is going to be an interest. Now West Ham, what kind of schedule they got? They had Chelsea. And I think they went also with
Thursday, Sunday. It's tough, man.
uh,
Tough.
yeah. But they played Chelsea before. They played Spurs already.
They played City.
They played City already. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
tough schedule.
Got good
Um,
results, man.
eh, eh,
Listen,
eh,
David Moyes, the thing with David Moyes is he has never won away from home at a top four club, at
yeah.
the top four. United, Chelsea, Arsenal, City. Never won a home game away from home.
Um,
And he's already like getting into the top 5 or top 3 ever number of games in the Premier League. So
and
he's getting there.
Sheffield United versus the Magpies. Ah, ah. Yes, baby. I'm a magpie, man. I'm a
Oh,
crow.
it's gonna be red stripes versus black stripes. It's gonna be at Sheffield
Yeah,
United.
yeah.
That's a game though that is tough. It's away from home, tough ground. Sheffield have been decent.
Let's
You've
go,
got to
baby.
go there and kick someone's ass. I think it's
Hey,
time for
yeah.
for Newcastle to just lay the hammer down on somebody,
We
please.
I'm waiting for Newcastle to
See,
actually.
this is the attitude. Lewis York, you sounded good. You sound cool. I'll be happy if Newcastle finish in the top 8. What kind of attitude is that?
No, yeah, exactly, Lewis. You can't. That's not, bro. Wait, time out. We're gonna mute. We're gonna mute the stream for a second, Lewis. Just between you and I, man. We can't. We can't be fans like this, bro. We can't talk about top 8. What the hell is that, Lewis? Come on, man. We can't. We have to change the mentality. We have to go and beat the teams every. Sheffield, they're not better than us.
No, they're not better.
No, the Blades, man. I know the Blades got a little bit of history, but they're not. They're not better than Newcastle. We gotta go and take it to the head, and we start building. Now, when it comes to points, let me look at the standings because y'all think I'm crazy when I talk about this, but the standings right now have a certain look. Have a
Yeah,
certain
they
look.
look like they could finish like that.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna. Newcastle will not finish 12. But they lost 3 in a row. That's unbelievable from a tremendous season last year. So they need to. Newcastle needs to win some games. But yeah, other than that, really, that's probably what is going to stay. Chelsea's. I just don't see it. You're talking about they have a good season. I don't know what the hell you're talking
They
about.
have underperformed. They have the the third best defense in the league, right? They've only given up 5 goals. Only Arsenal and City have given up more. They have an expected goals of 10, so they're creating chances. The problem is they've expected to score 10, they've only scored 5. So,
Yeah.
so the problem for them is they need one of these guys to be a finisher. They need Nicholas Jackson to stop falling over like a freshly born deer and actually shoot shots on target. Stop trying to hammer the ball. Just when you start, just get the side foot. Learn the Rodri way of scoring, where you just massage balls into the back corner. You don't have to hit it hard. Just put it in.
That's what she said.
Take a minute, take a breath, and just shoot. Let the goalkeeper mess up.
Yeah, that's
So
weird
from an
saying.
expected goals, so in terms of quality, the reason why I bring this up is there's this idea of expected goals, how much you give up versus expected, how you played. Chelsea right now are +5 in third place based on the expected goals table, and in the top 4, City is number 1, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford, Newcastle. So Newcastle have played better than you'd expect. It's a little early to be looking at expected goals, but it does give you a sense of the quality of the chances versus the quality of chances they're giving up. I don't think that they have had that bad of a season. If the nerds like it, the nerds get it. That's also why we didn't really talk about this, but David Raya has taken over for Ramsdale. Ramsdale's one of the worst keepers at post shot expected goals, which is an even deeper nerd hole, which is the idea of like this shot that was taken has this much value. Is your goalkeeper expected to save it? And he's not saving the shots you'd expect him to save. And that's why Arteta yanked him. Because
Now,
they're looking at the numbers, maybe. They're
do you
looking at
think
the
that
numbers.
you think that's normal?
What?
to just change the goalkeeper like that?
I think it
And I
is.
know you like Raya, but put that aside.
I think it is when you take a look at all champion teams, the best teams ever. Their goalkeepers are either super chill or super intense, but intense in a way that's calm, right? They're just like, don't mess with me. I'm making these saves. And Ramsdale does not have the personality of a league winning keeper. He's more like Pickford than Ederson. He's more like, I don't know, goalkeepers need to be chill. He's not chill. And I think that's really,
Do
even
you
though
think?
Arteta is too energetic, he needs less emotional players on the pitch. And I think Raya is more chill.
But do you think that this is a check that Ramsdale is cashing or paying for last season? Do you think that this is a payback for certain situations of last season? I've been hearing that. However, it would be, if so, it would be really unfair
It's
because
he's
Arteta
he's
is
part of
the
the defense,
leader,
and the defense fell apart.
but Arteta is the leader, so then he needs to be punished as well, right? With meaning
No,
sack.
no,
No, well, what I'm trying to say is,
no,
it's
no.
man, I don't know. This is a new season. Do you think that you cause problems? Uh, just take them
To
out.
to
Just
win in the Premier League, to win in any division, you have to always be getting better and better and better, increasing the talent on your side, increasing the number of players you think are National League players. You should get to a place where every single player you have is the best player at their position, and the guy who's behind them is the second best. And I don't think that Ramsdale was a keeper of that caliber. This is a guy who was relegated twice. He doesn't have the demeanor. He had a couple good seasons. He showed energy. He showed he cared about the club. He was $30 million. He took them to a certain level. And I think down the stretch, Arteta kind of realized I need more from this position because I need more from this position. If I'm saying to Thomas Partey, you're not good enough, I'm playing Declan Rice, then I'm sure as hell going to go in and say to um, Aaron Ramsdale, I'm bringing in Raya. You're not there. It's hard. It's ruthless, but I think it's the right thing to do for Arsenal to take the next step.
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with switching a position. I mean, obviously, is it's really rare when it comes to the goalkeeper.
What
We
I
have to.
what I what I, sorry to sidetrack you. What I don't understand as I was watching the Real Madrid game and then I watch Robert Sanchez and I think about Kepa, I'm like, if he was good enough for Real Madrid, why the fuck did Chelsea get rid of him?
Hey, Kepa has been playing well, but I mean, I don't. They got this new kid from Brighton.
Yeah, he got benched. He's not
Eh,
that. I mean, I
That's
like him,
but
but
that's kind of the thing with Arteta, that I feel like he's how do I put this? I feel like he like how do I put this without sounding bad?
no, just what? He's
I,
deflecting from his own
no,
shortcomings.
no. I think he just likes playing manager. And I think that's what he is, right? But he has to know he's dealing with people, and this is not PlayStation. You just don't. You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And I think that the psychological game is very important in football. And
yeah.
again, if something happens with Raya,
Then he
a
just goes
little
back.
a little short mistake that causes, and now the attention is on that. The fans are looking at Raya. Fans are looking at Arteta. Now you have to go to Ramsdale and tell him, "Hey, can you save the potatoes for me? Can you, help me out?" And then Ramsdale is supposed to look like, "So now you want me
Yeah, he's
to?"
supposed to be a professional. That's what keepers do. They have to be ready.
Well, but this is that's a mental game. I'm not saying that he can't switch position. I
I
get it.
think the bigger thing that I would be more concerned with is the connection between the back four and Raya and the back four and Ramsdale. Were they connected as a group? An Englishman, a Frenchman, and a Portuguese? I don't know. Is it better with a Spaniard? I don't know. I don't know what kind of connectivity they have, what kind of what's there. I mean, we know about Ramsdale. He used to G up the crowd and yell. Now, I do sort of contradict myself, right? Because I love Emi Martinez, and he's like in the Ramsdale camp, right? Where he's
Yeah,
always
no, I don't
doing
like him.
crazy stuff. I know you don't like him, but he did win the World Cup, so he can always be like, I won the World Cup and I won the Golden Glove. So bye.
Uh, that- that's such whatever. I mean,
I know, I know. Anyway,
uh,
but yeah, we'll be back. I think on Monday. There's so many
yeah.
games that we didn't talk about, but we'll have tons of stuff to talk
Well, let me
about.
see.
Champions
What
League. There's just tons of
what
stuff.
what what Champions League games are coming up? I really want to know that. What's
What's the next round of stuff?
yeah. Because I need to know, man. I don't know. I'm sure throughout the day, check out topfcradio.com. By the way, we have a live broadcast 24/7 of different talk shows. Football Tonight is part of that. We have
Is
La
it?
Liga.
I think, and we have Sirius FM, right? Sirius FC.
Sirius XM FC as well, part of that, part of the programming where you can just listen to football all day. You're going to be able to listen to football all day on topfcradio.com. Some of those shows are going to be live here on Top FC News and on the YouTube channel. We have a Serie A show. We've added a La Liga show as well. We've added
You couldn't stand my Premier League centric.
No. I love football tonight. This show focuses on everything going on in football, but you have the Squeaky Bomb Time
Yeah,
show
yeah. I got to
that
get
you
it back
have
going.
that
I was
you
sick
do have to
last
get it
weekend.
back, or else you're gonna have to pay a sanction because
Yeah.
because
So next round, it's Man United at home versus Galatasaray. That's a big kind of interesting one. PSG Newcastle Wednesday. That is massive
yes, that's going to be the match of matches for me.
for
No,
you.
seriously, for me because. I mean that's it. Mbappe is coming to town. Dembele is
Uh-huh.
coming to town. Luis Enrique coming to town. Just top names in the game, and it
Mhm.
helps. Just toughen the skin. But I mean, you got to have some mentality, winning mentality, man.
Napoli at home versus Real Madrid. We'll see how
Ah,
how
yes.
racist the teams in Italy will
Oh
be
my.
towards Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
It's- They're
those
terrible.
tifosi are wild. By the way, if you want to know about Serie A, you can. The channel has a show, the Calcio review with Alberto Guccio.
Oh,
He, yeah, yes.
I gotta watch
So yep, he just posted a video today on the channel, and it's ready for everybody to enjoy. But anyways, we've kind of reviewed everything that's going on right now with football. We are going to be live again on Monday here on YouTube, of course, live every day on the radio station. So feel free to go to the website and talk, and not talk, but listen live to all the shows. Lewis says, "Can Mbappe?" Can Mbappe play at St. James's Park in the cold and rain? Well, I'm
it
sure he
better
can.
get real cold real fast because it's next week.
But it's been cold lately. It's been cold lately. I mean, I have my swimming pool. I have to put it up. I have to do
No, I'm
work.
talking about in England. Is it cold yet? It better get cold real fast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I need to go to Newcastle. We need to plan a trip. Top FC Radio has to go to
It's been my
Newcastle. I
dream.
love it.
It's been my dream. I'll be on the other side of
But
the
you
island.
but you lived there, didn't you?
Years ago. Years ago.
So when you didn't
I
go
did.
to Newcastle?
No. I lived in London.
Man, you acting like England is. You drive everything 15 minutes. You're everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Come
small.
on.
It's really
Lewis
small.
says it's 8 Celsius. I don't know about Celsius. I know about Fahrenheit. What is Celsius?
It's not that hot. 8 is
Uh,
cold.
It's cold. Okay, but he said to be fair, it's 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, it is. Hey,
Anyway, we'll see
anyways,
you down. We'll see everyone down at the docks
that is
for
right.
Newcastle in the shipping lanes, and also let Sunderland melt into the ocean and never get promoted ever again.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notification, hit the thumbs up. It helps us a lot. And of course, videos, 5, 10 videos a day here on Top FC Radio. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.